Okay guys, just finished my shop tour video. If you haven't seen it, go check it out. I go into detail about everything in here. Now, I told you guys I'd do a detailed, in-depth video of the Yamaha TTR 230. That's a 2006. So we'll do that right now, and I'll explain that at the end of the video, what that is, and we'll get into it. I'm going to be rolling around on this, so you might hear that, but it shouldn't be too loud. Alright, let's start at the rear of the bike, which has had the least amount of work, I guess, to say on it. Okay. So we'll start right back here at the back. This is not stock. So this is a Tusk rear headlight kit. No, sorry, rear tail light kit. So it is held on there by 2 bolts on the top and then a safety clip on the bottom. So you can see the cable that runs right under there, and then back and in through the little hole in the plastics. Alright, then still stock muffler. I like the sound of it. I haven't wanted to change it out. Rear back tire. This is an upgraded back tire. This probably has, I don't know, 50 hours of ride time on it. Its treads are doing pretty good. It hasn't been a rough 50 hours. Alright, then we got, with this bike we get stock rear drum brakes. So this is just a rear drum brake setup with the pedal on the right side. American setup basically. And then our chain on the left side. Now I've done a sticker kit to it. So there's some stickers up here, and there's a bunch on the front plate. Now we'll get down into the engine area. So back in there is our rear suspension. One single cylinder shock, no piggyback on it. Then our relay for our starting system. Then you probably can't see it, but up in there is the solenoid, right? Spike setup, muffler guard comes stock. This is all stock. This right in there is your oil filter. So I'll show you in a later video the oil change process. And then your clutch cover. Sorry, crankcase cover. Then your oil sight. There's nothing in there right now because the bike is tilted on the kickstand, so you won't see anything right away. Then we come up here near the front. Alright, so this is on one side. Now this side has the front disc brake. Now that's stock. Now up here, this headlight is not stock. So in a earlier video, I had shown you guys the horn setup, which I just installed in there. But what I'm gonna do now is I'm gonna make a video later that's I'll show you the whole electrical setup and these switches and everything, the way that works. So I'll show it at the end of this video. I'll do a quick explanation of the lighting system at the end of this video. And come down here to the other side of the engine bay. This is your fuel petcock. Then your choke. That's your idle adjustment screw in there. Is your pressure return. This is your clutch cover. Shifter. So we'll stock this bike is 1 down, 5 up. So it's a 6-speed manual transmission. Air hose between your airbox and your carburetor. This is your airbox. I'll take the cover off and show you under that at the end of the video. Same thing with the electrical cover. I'll take that off. And then that's your front sprocket and your rear sprocket with your chain. And of course, master link. Okay, so I'll take off this side panel and this side panel, and I'll show you the electrical inside of there. Okay, so I've gotten the bolts out of this side. So this is the airbox side. That is a 10 mil socket and just a regular Phillips head screwdriver for those. So then this comes off, this whole side panel. Just grab it. Just a pull up in the top corner and the whole side panel will come off. Now watch out, these two pieces do detach. So if they do, just make sure you're watching the way that the clips, these clips go into those slots. Okay, so now under this cover, it's a little dark, but we can just see the air filter is on a pull-out little slide. And so is the feedback, backfire arrestor. Okay. Now that's an easy cover to remove. Well, that's a simple setup. Now on this side, I've removed 3 bolts on this side, also 10 millimeter, and that opens up our battery compartment. So these pieces do not detach; they stay together. And this is our battery compartment. So up here in this top corner, I won't get into super detail, but up here in this top corner, this is a relay. You can see as a relay, so that works with our starting system. That is a 10 amp, just like a 10 amp automotive fuse. There's our main connections for the fuse, or for the whole bike. The main connections come right off of there. So that's our negative and our positive. Then I will get into detail what all these other colored wires are right after this. But there's our stock red wire and our stock black wire set up right here. So those were always there. These ones were the added in cables right here. So I will show you guys right now. I'll pull off the front cover and I'll show you the work I've done under there to add in the lights and the horn. Okay, so I've just undone this one bolt right here that bolts right into that hole right there and connects the front plastic cover to the yoke of the bike. And then I've undone this, out of focus, undone this, which usually goes under there. So that's undone. Now the tricky thing about this is the way it's set up for me. I lift up like it usually does, but I have to be careful and I have to pull it out to the side and then kind of set it there so it doesn't fall down, and there, it can sit right there so it doesn't fall down and break any of these connections I've made. Okay, so let's start back here. So, the way it's set up back here, this is going to get confusing. I'll see if I can make a diagram of this and I'll post it in the description. It's also in the description of the horn install video that I made earlier this week. Okay, so we'll start on the battery. So this is our stock. These ones right here are stock negative connections. Now these ones, as you can see, there's one black cable here and one black cable here. So this black cable right here goes under and back to the negative terminal of that taillight. Then the white cable connects right there. You can see it connects to another white one that then goes into this gray cable that goes up the wiring harness up to here, which is this gray cable right here. Now we know from looking at that white cable is carrying a positive signal, okay? I'll tell you why that's carrying a positive signal. Because all that happens is this little cable right here is fed back to the tail light. So it's getting its ground connection directly from the battery, and now it needs a positive. So as you can see on this one, this gray cable, the black cable is actually going to the positive of the battery, and the gray cable is acting as a positive return. So what happens is when you look at this gray cable up here, the black goes directly into here. Now this is a common positive that I've used. So now that positive goes directly to the, sorry, it's over here. I'm looking at the wrong one. This positive goes right here. This black one is our positive from the battery. Then the red one, the new red one right here, comes out, goes up, and it goes to one terminal of our switch. This switch is for the horn. So that's a common positive. Now the other one comes out of here and goes to this switch for the light. Then it comes out of here to this red cable right here, which then connects to the white cable of the headlight, supplying a positive to the headlight, which already has a common ground off the same cable. And then there's another little black split cable right here that the horn is getting a common ground off of. Now there's one more white. This white cable right here goes back into the gray cable, comes down to here, and that right there is how the tail light gets its positive. So when I flick on this switch, I'll show you this switch right here. When I flick on this switch, the tail light gets its positive connection, it turns on, and the headlight gets its connection and turns on. So that's the basic explanation of the electrical setup I've had. And then it uses the same positive coming off of there, goes up into here, gets off of the key start switch, and goes to here. So every time I press the button, the horn sounds. Okay, so that's been the explanation of this bike. Yeah, that's about it. Alright guys, thanks for watching the video. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and do all that fun stuff. And I'll see you in the next video. Bye-bye. Okay guys, you didn't think I was going to leave you there, did you? Alright, so I said I would explain this bike. So, I'm not going to show it to you. I'll just tell you that it is a 1984 Honda. That's all I'm going to tell you. Now, I got it from a friend this past week. So this is the May, we're almost at the May 2-4 weekend of 2017. I got this last week, and this thing is awesome. So it needs some work. I'm going to do a whole series of me working on this, but I'm not going to release it until the race day. That's right. This bike, which I'm not going to show you yet, is going to be raced on July 10th in Courtright, Ontario. Now we're going to do a race on the road between this and another bike that my stepbrother's building. So we're building a mini bike race. It's going to be me, him, and I'm looking at getting another guy into it. We have to build or find an old bike, restore it into working condition, and then race it and see who does better in an on-road speed competition and an off-road handling test. So I will also put the link for the rules of this contest in the description, so you guys can take a look at it and see what you guys are in for. Alright, so the build series should be coming out late June, early July something. I'll do a video a week for a whole week. I'll hopefully make 7 videos out of it, and we'll get back in. We'll get right back in there, guys. Alright, so for real, guys, I'm gone out this time. So I will talk to you guys later. Goodbye.